Good morning, fourth grade Wildcats. Today we're going to work through Mission 7, Lesson 11 together. I want to give you a pre-warning that this video is going to require you to press pause a couple of times as I ask you to think about or solve the problems that are being shown. Go ahead and familiarize yourself with how to pause the video and be ready to do that when instructed. All right, let's hit it. This lesson focuses on multi-step problems to solve measurement in addition and subtraction. Okay, so we start off with 3 gallons minus 2 quarts. Do we have enough quarts to subtract? Remember, 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. That's right, we don't. In 3 gallons, if strictly as it's written, we don't have any quarts, and we can't take 2 quarts away from nothing. So we will need to break down 3 gallons into 2 gallons, and how many quarts do you think? That's right, 4 quarts, because 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. And I want to really reinforce here that we still have 3 gallons. It's just broken up into 2 gallons and 4 quarts. The same concept as if you had 3 $1 bills and you exchanged $1 bill for 4 quarters. You still have $3, but you have it in $2 and 4 quarters. Well, we still have 3 gallons. We just have it in 2 gallons and 4 quarts. I prefer to use the standard algorithm here, so I go ahead and write down what I've got. 2 gallons, 4 quarts, minus 2 quarts. And as always, we start the furthest to the right in the smallest place value. In this case, it's the quarts. So 4 quarts minus 2 quarts equals, of course, 2 quarts. We're finished with the quarts, so we move over to the gallons. 2 gallons minus nothing equals 2 gallons. So the answer to 3 gallons minus 2 quarts is 2 gallons, 2 quarts. See how easy this is? And we can prove it when we hit the next button. Zern says we are excellent. Our next problem asks us to find the sum. Remember, 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, and you need to figure out 3 hours, 50 minutes, plus 2 hours, 45 minutes. What would be the sum in hours and minutes? At this time, I would like you to press pause. Go ahead and take out some paper, solve this problem on your paper, regrouping as needed. And when you finish, start the video again to check your work. I really hope that you were able to get 6 hours and 35 minutes. Let me go through the steps that were required here, just so that you can see what the work looks like should you have gotten it incorrect. So we have 3 hours, 50 minutes, plus 2 hours, 45 minutes. We're going to go ahead and start on the furthest place to the right, as we always do. 50 plus 45 equals 95 minutes. And 3 hours plus 2 hours equals 5 hours. At this point, we realize that, 95 minutes is more than 1 hour. It's more than 60. So I'm going to regroup. I'm marking off my 95. I'm taking 60 minutes out. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So I'm adding 1 hour on the hours column, and I have left over 35 minutes. So then we just proceed. 35 minutes plus 5 hours plus 1 hour is 6 hours, 35 minutes. This problem is all about Mrs. Smith and her 12 pounds, 8 ounces of flour. If she uses 4 ounces of flour for each batch of sugar cookies, how many batches of sugar cookies can she make? And so you're just looking at the tape diagram and you're trying to decide which one represents the 12 pounds, 8 ounces of flour that Miss Smith bought for her cookies. That's right, it was the bottom diagram. Notice that it shows 12 individual units, and then the 8 ounces are the the little portion left over that's not a pound. Good. On the next problem, we need to label several tape diagrams to represent the problem. Nate spent 1 hour 30 minutes less than Greg reading last week. Greg spent 45 minutes less than Pete. Pete spent 3 hours reading. How long did Nate spend reading? I like to think of this strategy as starting from the bottom and going up. We know that Pete spent 3 hours reading. His is the longest amount of time. We know it. So go ahead and label Pete as the bottom. And Greg spent 45 minutes less than Pete. So Greg goes next. Who do you think will be last? That's right. Our friend Nate spent the least amount of time reading. We need to figure out how much time he spent reading. Now we will be asked to label the segments of the tape diagram. We have to think about it very carefully. The first thing we realize is that Pete spent 3 hours, so you can label Pete's whole as 3 hours. The next thing we know is that the portion that is longer than Greg, well, that has to be 45 minutes because Greg spent 45 minutes less than Pete. So we've got 2 of these out of the way. Pete is taken care of. Next, we know that the portion of Greg's reading that is more than Nate's has to be 1 hour and 30 minutes because Nate spent 1 hour and 30 minutes less than Greg. Now Pete and Greg are taken care of. And of course, Nate is the unknown because that question asks, how long did Nate spend reading? At this point, we're ready to do some math to find out. Go ahead and press pause, solve this problem, and when you are finished, come back to start the video again and check your work. Nate spent 45 minutes reading. I'll take you through a step-by-step of how to solve it just in case you made a mistake. Set this up in standard algorithm. 3 hours minus 45 minutes. Notice that I have an hours column and a minutes column. These are very important to keep separated. There are not any minutes for me to take away 45 minutes, so I need to regroup. I'm going over to the hours column. I'm going to take one of those hours. So instead of 3 hours, I have 2. And I'm going to regroup 60 minutes, the equivalent of an hour, to the minutes column. Now I have minutes to subtract 60 minus 45, which of course leaves 15 minutes. And then 2 hours minus nothing is 2 hours. Okay, so we're not finished yet. We still don't know how much time Nate spent reading. What we know right now is that Greg spent 2 hours and 15 minutes. But Greg wasn't the goal. Nate is. So let's keep going. To find Nate's total time reading, I need to subtract 1 hour 30 minutes from Greg's time of 2 hours 15 minutes. What do we notice? That's right, we didn't have enough minutes in 15 minutes to take away 30. So we need to regroup. I need to go over to the hours column, take one of the hours. Now I have 1 hour, and I'm going to regroup that other hour as 60 minutes. So 60 plus 15 gives me 75. Now I have 1 hour 75 minutes, which is equivalent to 2 hours 15 minutes. It's just rearranged so that I can continue this work. Now we can subtract 75 minus 30, which gives us 45 minutes, and 1 hour minus 1 hour, 0 hours. So we have 45 minutes as the answer. Guys, and just like that, we have just learned this lesson. Mission 7, Lesson 11 will be a thing of the past. I hope this video helps you. You can go back and watch it a couple of times if you need to. Remember that Miss Shrader is always here for you. You can reach out to me by email, sschrader@caldwelledu.org, or you can send a dojo message or reach out to me on Google Classroom. Remember, 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 if you are working on paper or doing any of those Google Classroom or Class Dojo activities that I post, share the pictures with me. Snap a picture of it and send it to me so we can put you in the drawing for the snow cones. Oh, and not the snow cones only, but also a Wildcat Spirit bag. I mean, how cool is that? I want to win one of those. Anyway, Miss Shrader loves you and misses you. I hope you're doing well. Take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.